Hi friends, welcome to Anand Learning Studio. Today in this video of the series Python Basic to Advanced, we will be learning about another data type that is lists in Python. So in the last lecture we have covered strings and in this video we will be covering about list. So what a list is, how it is useful. Now whenever you want to hold multiple data together, like suppose you want to collect name of some students like 50 students, 10 students, or you want to create a list of places or anything where you have a collection and you don't want to create multiple variables for all those items. Like suppose if you want to store 10 students and if you will create 10 different variables, that would be very clumsy. Okay, so in order to hold a collection of items together associated with one variable, we commonly use list. Okay, so in list what we do, we hold elements together, and the list in Python can are mutable in nature, and also it can contain heterogeneous elements. So what I mean to say means it's not necessary that all the elements in a list should be of the same data type. They can be of any data type, doesn't matter. Okay, and also they are mutable, means if you have created a list, you will be able to modify the same list. So let's quickly see how we create a list. So to create a list, we simply use square brackets. And this will give you a list. In this scenario, if I'll execute it, it will give me an empty list. If I'll check the type of li, it will give me a list. And now to check the number of elements in a particular list, we use length, len, and it will give me the length of that list. Okay? Now we can store a lot of elements. Let's quickly see the ID of this li. Or let's create a li with some elements. Li equals to, let's create 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Now let's check ID of li, length of li. And now let's try to modify some element. Like suppose if I want to change a particular variable, sorry, change a particular value in a particular index, what I need to do, I need to go to that index. We will be quickly covering the indexing and slicing. I just want to show how lists are mutable. I'll say li of 1 and then suppose I will assign a value of 110. I have changed the first element, sorry, the second element in this list, and now if you will see your list will be having 10, 110, 12 and 13. Let's quickly check id of li. If you will observe, both the IDs before this change and after the change are same. They are pointing to the same list, same location. So that's how lists are mutable in nature. Whenever you are trying to modify a particular element in a list, you are actually modifying that same list. Okay, you are not creating any new list. Now, as I said, that a list can be collection of any elements. Suppose there is another list called A, and it can have some string like Python, then followed by, sorry, Python followed by Java followed by Scala. Okay, and also that same list, if you'll see, the A is having some values of string, and in the same list you can store some numbers also like 10, 11, or you can store another list also 1, comma 2, comma 3. Okay, it is a valid list. It will not complain. Python will not be complaining that hey, you have mixed different data types together in a list. You can keep any data type inside a list. Okay, so list is basically a collection of elements associated with a single variable. And now let's quickly see how do we access a particular element and how do we like create a slice of a list. Okay, so the indexing and slicing of a list is same as we do in strings. So suppose if from left to right the indexing starts from 0 and go till length minus 1. Okay, So here in string, each of the character we are having some index value, but here in list, each of the element will have some index value. So if I want to access the first element, I will be saying, okay, give me the element at index number 0. If I want to get the last element, I will be saying, give me the index element at index number length minus 1. So suppose there are six elements, then the last element will be at index number 5. Similarly, we have a negative indexing also, which starts from minus 1 and goes till minus length. So either of the ways, okay. So let's quickly see, if I want to get the first element, a of 0 will give me the first element. Let's quickly see how this happens. Let's go to whiteboard and let's create a list. Let's create a list of some elements. Okay, so suppose here it is 1, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Now, if I will check, okay, what is the length of this list? So len of list will give me the number of elements present in this list. So in this case, how many elements are present? It will be giving me 5. Okay. Each of the element is having a index value. So from by default, we start counting from left to right. So if I say the leftmost or the first element in this list is having an index value of 0, followed by 1, followed by 2, followed by 3, and followed by 4. So if you'll observe, the last index is always 1 less than the total number of elements. How many elements were there? 5. What is index, last index? 4. Suppose if there would have been 7 elements, like suppose if there would have been 15 and 16. So now the length would have been 7, and what would have been the index of last element? 6. Why? Because obviously we are starting our counting from 0. So it will give me total number of elements minus 1 will be the last element's index. And if we go from right to left, our counting will start from minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, and minus 7. Now, since we are starting from minus 1 or that 1, so in negative order, it will be minus length. Okay, so if you want to access any of the element in this list, you will have two things. Either you can access with the positive index or the negative index. So, when to use which type of index? Whenever anyone will ask you, okay, give me the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, any element which is asked in positive reference should always be counted from left side, because okay, you know that okay, third element means element at index whatever is the ask minus 1. So third means 3 minus 1 2. Fourth element means 4 minus 1 3. So whenever anyone will ask you, okay, give me the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, like this, you should always keep your calculations from left to right. Okay, obviously it's not compulsory, you can, it totally depends on you, but I kind of remember it like this. Okay, so if I'll say li of 2, it will give me the third element. Sorry, it will give me the third element. And li of 0 will give me the first element. But if someone will ask you, hey, give me the third last, second last, or last element. Now he is asking you a reference from last. Okay, then in that case, it will be easier for you to go the negative indexing. Or else what you will have to do, third last means total number of elements minus 1 will be the last elements index minus 3, so for 6 5 4, so you will have to do a lot of calculation. It will be better that okay, third last means minus 3, cool, fourth last means minus 4, fifth last means minus 5, whatever is the ask, that together with a minus will give you the element from last. Whatever is the ask minus 1 will give you that element from left to right in positive terms. So Li of minus 3 will give you 14, and which is also equal to Li of 4. Okay, Li of minus 4 will give you 13, which is also equal to Li of 3. So again, it totally depends on you how you want to calculate and what is the ask. Now let's see these in action. So let's quickly go to the browser in our Jupyter notebook. Let's see. So what we learned that in order to access any element, we can use the index value. So in order to access the first element, we can use a of 0. In order to access the last element, I can either use a positive indexing or a negative indexing. So in this case, if I'll go with the positive indexing, how many elements are there? Okay. So if I don't know, I can quickly calculate it using len function and it will give me length of a. So in this case, if I say len of a, what it will return? It will return 6, correct? So this whole list is considered as one element. Okay, you cannot consider 1, 2, and 3 as separate element for this list. So A is having 6 elements: Python, Java, Scala, 10, 11, and then this list is considered as one single element to A. Okay, so ln of A will give you 6. Now, if you will execute A of 6, it will give you an error. Why? Because there is no element at 6th index. The last element is at index number length minus 1. So, if you will execute it, you will get an error and you will have to do length minus 1 and you will be getting the last element. Or it's better to go with the negative indexing L A of minus 1 and it will give you the last. Similarly, if I will ask you, hey, get me the third last element, you can say LA of minus 3 and you will get the 10. And if I'll ask you, get me the third element, you will say A of 2. So, indexing is quite easy. You just have to practice and automatically it will be calculated in your mind with time. Now, let's quickly see if I want to create a slice. Now, suppose I have this A and I want to access first two elements or I want to create a list or I want to get first three elements, first four elements or last three elements, last two elements. If I want to create a slice of this list, then I will have to do a technique called slicing. And it is same as we do in string. We have to use start index, then end index, and then step size. So what start index is? Start index means from the index value from where you want to start slicing. Okay, end index means till where you want to get element, but end index is exclusive. Means the index value, whatever you will be giving, you will not be, interpreter will not be taking element of that particular index. It will take only elements of one less than the given index. Means the end index is exclusive. And step size is how far or what is the index value difference of the next element. So if it will start iterating, step value will be added to the start index and the next consecutive elements will be calculated. So let's understand it in a bit more detail. Suppose I want to get first three elements. In this case, what I want to do, I want to get elements from index value 0 because first element is at index value 0. So start will become 0, three elements. So what is the index value of Scala? 2, correct? So if I'll give 2, it will not give me Scala because end index is exclusive. Whatever index value you will be giving here, that particular element or element at that particular index will not be returned. It will return you only the element which is one less than the given end index. And step size is how far is that particular element. So in this case, if I'll say first three element, it will be calculating these three. So start will become 0, end will become. So if you want to get 12, you cannot give 2 as the end index. You will have to give 3. Then only it will pick elements from 0 to 2 index. And what step size is doing? Suppose in this case, by default, the step size is value of 1. So step size is added to start index. So it will start iterating. It will pick up. So suppose if you want to say, okay, I want the element first three elements. So you will be saying like start from 0 and go till index number 3. Okay. And by default step size is having a value of 1. Okay. By default, index value is having, step size is having a value of 1. So how it will be calculated? It will start from index value 0. So it will pick li of 0 as the first element of that slice. And in order to get the next element, it will add the step size. So what is the step size? 1. So 0 plus 1, it will return the next element as li of 1. It will check whether li of 1 is the end index. 1 is the end index? No. So it will give you the element at li of 1 also. Then it will add again step size. 1 plus 1, 2. Whether 2 is the end index? No. So it will give you next element as li of 2. And then it will do L 2 plus 1, 3. 3 is the end index, so it will stop iterating. So in that slice, it will return you li of 0, li of 1, and li of 2. So now it will return you a slice. Okay, that list will have 10, 11, and 12. Similarly, if I'll say, okay, give me first four elements or first five elements. Okay, give me a slice of first five elements. Let me clear it out. So suppose I have another list. Now in this list again, I have some element 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now suppose I'll say, hey, give me first five elements. Okay. If this list name is Li and it is having suppose 4 and 3, 7, 7 elements, and I will ask, hey, give me first five elements. So you will quickly say Li and then first five elements. Okay. So you will say 0 colon 6. Okay. Why? Because this is at index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First five elements. So you will give 5. Okay, and it will give you the element at index number 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But what if I'll ask you, hey, give me the first five element, but it should be alternate element. Give me the alternative first five element. Means I want a list, sub list, okay, which is 10 and then 12 and then 14. So in this case, how I will be doing the slicing? From where I want to start slicing. So I want to start slicing from 0th index. So I will say Li, and what will be my start index? 0. Then followed by end index. What is my end index? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want till 14. I want to iterate till 14. So what will be my end index? 5. Till here we are clear. But if I'll give the go with the by default step size of 1, it will give me 10 and then 11. I want 10 and then 12. How far is 12 from 10? If you'll see the index of 10 is 0 and index of 12 is 2. What is the difference? 2. So in this case, the step size will become 2. So it will return you 10, then 12, and then 2 plus 2, 4. It will return you Li of 0 plus 2 Li of 2 plus 2 Li of 4. So this is how it will return you a slice of alternating character. You can do it on reverse also. So suppose you want it elements from 12 to 16. Okay, so in this case you want start slicing from 2 and go till index number 7. Correct? One more than the end index. So you can say Li of 2 colon 7, and if you want all the characters you will keep the default step size. If you want alternative characters or whatever, if you want the elements with the 3 difference, you can give the step size as 3. This is how you can do slicing. Okay, we have one more approach. Suppose if I will say, hey, get me elements from last 5 elements but in the reverse order. So I want my list, slice list to be 16, then 15, then 14, then 13, then 12. So I want a list to be created out of this list Li, but in the reverse order. So in this case, how you will prepare? You will say Li start index of 6 and index of 2. Okay. But if you will execute it, it will not return you anything. Why? Because default step size is 1. So what it will try to do, it will say, okay, you want element from li of 6 plus 1. It will 7. 7, there is no element. So the interpreter will stop interpreting and it will return you nothing. If you want to start from 6 and you want to go to 2, how you can do? How you can reach? By decreasing the steps. Okay. So how far is 15 from 16? The index is 1 less. How far is 14 from 15? 1 less. How far is 13 from 14? 1 less. Okay. And how far is 12 from 13? 1 less. So you can see you have to decrease in order to traverse in this direction. So you will have to give the step size as minus 1. Minus 1. And now it will return you the slice in a reverse order. Okay. So let's quickly jump and see these in action on Jupyter Notebook. So suppose I want to get first three element, I can simply say 0, colon 3 and I will be getting the first three elements. Okay, 0, 1 and 2. Index element at index number 0, 1 and 2. If I want the last three element, so I can say LIA of last three elements means here 0, 1, 2 and then 3 to 7. Because I am not providing any default step size 3 to 7. Okay. By default, the start index is having a value of 0. So even though if you want first three element, you can simply say colon 3 and it will return you first three element. And also, if you want to slice till the end of the string, you can leave the end index. And by default, end index is having a value till the length of the string. So a of colon will give you, sorry, 3 colon. A of colon will give you entire list because by default the start index will be 0 and by default end index will be last of the string and also the step size is having a default value of 1. You can say A of 3 colon and it will give you an element from index number 3 to last. Now if I want first 4 elements or first 5 elements or first 4 element 5 element whatever, but in the alternative sequence I will have to say A of first 5 elements. Suppose if I will give 5 and then I will give the step size as 2 and it will give me the element at index number 0, then 2 and then 11. This is how you can do slicing. You can do slicing in negative order. So suppose if I ask you, okay, give me the last 5 elements. Okay, last 4 elements or 5 elements. So last 4 element means I want these 4 elements. What will be the index value of fourth last element? Minus 4. In negative indexing, it's quite simple. Whatever is asked, that with a minus sign will be the index value. So A of minus 4 colon and I want to go till end of the string. I will leave it empty and I will get the last four elements. Please remember, I have not asked in reverse order. That's why I'm not giving any step size of negative value. Okay. So what it did, it gave you A of minus 4 scala and step size is 1. Correct? By default 1 only. So 1 is added to minus 4. What is the value? Minus 3. It will give you 10. Minus 3 plus 1, minus 2. It will give you 11. Minus 2 plus 1, minus 1. It will give you the last element. Minus 1 plus 1, obviously 0 it comes, but yeah, till that time you have reached the end of the iteration. So that's how it goes. But if I ask you, okay, give me the last four element, but in the reverse order, means the first element should be minus this list, then 11, then 10, then scala. You will have to do it like this. A, and then you will have to start from minus 1, go till minus 5 because now I have to go till minus 4. I need element till minus 4, so I will have to give index 1 more than that. And now I will be putting step size as minus 1. I will be getting the last 4 elements in reverse order. And if I will ask you, okay, reverse this list, I will say colon colon minus 1 and it will give you the list in a reverse order. So step 5 is deciding you to give your next character in a slice. Start index is from where you want to slice, end index is still where you want to slice. That's how slicing in list work. That's how indexing in list work. And the slicing and indexing are common for both strings and lists. Okay. Sorry. In strings, you basically do indexing and slicing over characters. Here, you do it over elements because list is a collection of elements and string is a collection of characters. Now in list, one additional thing you may come across, or you will have to practice that thing. Let's quickly cover that also. So as you can see, a list can be of a complex structure. It can have another list, it can have a dictionary, or it can have strings also. What if I'll ask you, hey, give me the third character of the first element, or give me the second element. Okay, if a list is having another list, I will ask you, okay, give me the second element of the innermost list or the last element list. In that case, what you will have to do, you will have to do some more like a chaining request. You will have to do chain indexing. First of all, if I will talk about the first example, where I will be asking you, hey, give me the third character of the first element or of this Python. So in order to get the third character, do you have direct access to this third character? No, you can access only A. Okay, and A of, in order to access third character, you generally use the index value of 2. Will it give you third character? No, it will give you the third element, that is scalar. So do you have access to third character? No. What you have access? You have access to element. Okay, to this Python element. What you can do? You can access this element. A of 0, you got this element. Now in this element, in this returned result, you have to access the third character. So you can either store it in a variable, okay, and then you can do s of 2 and you will get the third character. But suppose if you have a chaining request where you have multiple lists, a list inside a list, list inside a list, list inside a list, and then if I will ask you, okay, get me any element or get me any index of a particular value of the innermost list, you cannot get that many variables. In that case, let's merge these two steps. I can access the list A, correct? And I can access the first element of this list using A of 1. I know that, oh, sorry, A of 0. I know that A of 0 is going to return me a string. On that return, I want to access the third character. On that return, whatever was returned from that, on that you accessed the third character by using this one. So you just copy it and put it here, and you will be able to do it in one line. That is, you are able to access T of this Python. Let's do some more example. Okay, suppose I have a list and it is having another list. So the first element is 10, 11, 12. Then another list is having 13, 14, 15, and then another list is 16, 17, 18. And let's create in this particular list, let's remove and create one more list. 17, 21, 17, 21, and okay. Let's execute it. Now, if I ask you, hey, how many elements are there in this list? You cannot count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, like not like that. How many elements are there in this list Li? This Li is having only three elements. The first element is a list, second element is another list, and third element is another list. Okay. So if you check len of Li, you will be getting 3. And if I ask you, hey, get me 21, how you can get 21? Do you have direct access to 21? No. Can how you in order to get 21, you will have to access this list. Do you have access to this list? No. In order to get access to this list, what you need to access? You need to access this particular element. How you can access it? Either by saying li of 2 or by saying li of minus 1 since it is the last element. Okay. And then in this, I want to get the middle limit. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, either I can say 0 1, or I can say again minus 2, whatever. And then in this again I want to get this 21, so I will be saying 1 again, so it will return you 21. So in order to chain your indexing or whatever you want to do, suppose if I want to do slicing also, so suppose I want the first two element of this innermost list, I can do simply li of minus 1, and then on this I will be saying 1, and then on this I will be saying and I will be getting the first two element. So you have to reach till that particular uh, element on which you want to do the operation, and how you will be reaching that by using this chaining thing. So it is very important that you learn this and practice this concept, because till the time you will be working on Python, strings, lists, and dictionaries, you keep on playing with them, and you cannot, means this should be on your fingertips. Slicing, indexing, all these should be on your fingertips, and it will just come by practice. So whenever you have to do like indexing or even slicing, you have to think from which direction they are asking, from first, from last. If they are talking from first, means from left to right, go with the positive indexing approach. Or if they are asking with the right to left, go with the negative indexing approach. Okay. Even in case of nested list, nested dictionaries, nested string, it can be a nested strings also. It can be a dictionary, another list. Whatever is this data type, doesn't matter. You have to only think where I want to reach and how I will reach there. Keep on accessing the elements from left to right. So you have access to Li, and on Li, keep on accessing the outermost element. So first reach here, see, okay, whether Li of 2 is returning me this list. Yeah. Now on this, I want to access this one. Okay. This is how you will practicing. So what is this order? 0, 1. So I will put in now 1. And then I want to access this one. So on this, I will be saying 1. So the more and more you will execute, the more and more you will remember these concepts. And these are pretty simple concepts that will not take much time. So hope you enjoyed and liked this video, and please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.